QDN e-News. Acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we meet. We pay our respects to the elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge the important role Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people continue to play within the community. Acknowledgement for People with Disability by Queenslanders with Disability Network, Ltd. QDN also acknowledges people with disability who have come before us and died in institutional settings, as well as those who are still trapped in institutions or silenced by institutional practices. We take on the responsibilities of being clear about the rights of all people with disability and, where necessary, speak in an informed and considered manner for those who cannot speak for themselves.
Hello and welcome to another edition of QDN e-News. I'm Steve Coulter, General Manager here at QDN. Hope you've had a great Easter break with your family and friends. Can't believe it feels like a long time ago. But straight into the e-News. On Wednesday, 27th of March, Minister for the NDIS, Bill Shorten MP, introduced the NDIS Amendment, getting the NDIS back on track number 1 Bill 2024 to Parliament. The bill proposes significant policy reform, which will impact current and future NDIS participants. QDN is analysing the legislation and summarised some very important information for our members. This information can be found below this video. The Australian government is reforming disability standards to help make public transport more accessible. This is the first major reform to the transport standards since they were introduced over 20 years ago. The reforms aim to improve accessibility across the whole public transport journey, including the training of our public transport staff to better meet the needs of people with disability. QDN members, many of you will be watching this. You've been involved in the consultations as well as been advocates for change over the last 20 years. So we certainly look forward to our continued involvement in the next phase, which aims to get the best outcomes for Queenslanders with disability. Sarah MP, QDN peer leader and arts sector professional, and Michelle Moss attended a roundtable last week at Arts Queensland. It brought together about 70 people across disability, the arts, universities and government. And great to see so many QDN leaders there in their professional capacities. It was also a very exciting start of the conversation about developing a vision and strategy for Brisbane 2032 Olympics and Paralympics legacy strategy, which is called Elevate 2042, and its foundation to advance accessibility and empower people with disability. Ruth McKenzie, who worked on the London Games and their cultural programme, shared really great insights from that experience and called on Queensland to dream big about what is possible, to show the power of collaboration and to think about the important role arts and culture have to play in a successful legacy for arts with people with disability and what it could look for. So dream big. This was the first as part of Arts Queensland's engagement, and QDN will update members as more information comes to hand about this exciting work. Well, our 2024 Emerging Leaders met for the first of the series of Leadership Learning Hub meetings a few weeks ago, where monthly they connect with the other fantastic group of leaders across the disability community. Mike Hogan was the first one. He's the convener of Thriving Queensland Kids Partnership and Professor at QUT and past Director of Queensland Government Department of Disability. It was a fantastic meeting for everyone got together and could listen to his experience. So we look forward to seeing all our emerging leaders next month. Have you heard of Q Bloggers? This is a member-driven blogging community that's been up working for about 15-16 months, where members are creating discussion topics as per Queensland and Disability Network's policy areas. And you can create a blog by filming a video, recording a podcast, or even writing a post. with the assistance of the QDN communications team. They'll be there to support you, guide you if needed. So if you'd like to join, become a QDN blogger, Q-blogger, follow the links below this video. There's also a range of consultations on policy, strategies and legislation that is currently open, and more information can also be found below this video, and I encourage you to read that. The 15 organisations who are part of Queensland Disability Peak Representative Organisations that QDN brings together to meet 4 times a year, and the Queensland Independent Disability Advocacy Network, all the state-funded disability advocacy organisations coordinated by QAI, met together last week. It was a great opportunity to look at the work going forward around the disability reforms across the Disability Royal Commission and the NDIS review, as well as share key issues and feedback across the 2 networks that is happening on the ground for people with disability, the family and carers across the state of Queensland. We strongly encourage QDN members who have had any experiences with being charged incorrectly by taxis, refused service, or have had issues with using your TSS card or cab charge to share their stories. We get them frequently, but we want to hear more of them. The QDN policy team is collecting this data to help provide feedback and to help shape conversations that we're currently having. So please call or email your stories if you have them. Also, don't miss our upcoming Get Ready and Plan Ahead workshops happening all across the state of Queensland. These workshops are designed to help people with disability plan for their support needs during emergencies. More information can also be found below this video. The Disability Reform Ministers have issued a joint statement on the Commonwealth, state and territory responses to the Disability Royal Commission. The ministers talked about the scale and the complexity of the reform and the need to consult Commonwealth, state and territory ministers. Have all agreed governments would respond by mid-2024, which is beyond the original deadline of 31st of March 2024. Information has been provided that Queensland will respond to the Disability Royal Commission recommendations, for which it has sole responsibility by mid-2024. While the delay is disappointing, we hope it will mean that they are able to make sure it links with the NDIS review for reforms and that people with disability have an important seat at the table. As always, thanks for your time, thank you for watching, thanks for tuning in to QDN News. If you have any questions about anything we've covered, please give us a call on 1300 363 783. That's 1300 363 783. Or email qdn@qdn.org.au. Until next time, thank you.